How's it going, guys? This is Avollon, and welcome back to Avollon's World. Today, we are working with the Crafter. It's not even called the Auto Crafter. Huh, interesting. It's just called the Crafter. We are going to be upgrading a massive amount of our farms today and eliminating a lot of manual work that I've been doing over the years into making things just so much more efficient. Like, the more I went on, I was like, all right, which farms can I equip the crafter with, that improve day-to-day life? The more farms I was like, dang, that works, and it'll work really well and save me a lot of time, and we'll put the shulker farm to good use, because we still have like a couple shulker boxes of shulker shells, so we got plenty of them. But a little history, we started off farming long before I even, farmed in this game, with very basic manual farms. And this is actually one of them, conveniently enough, that you would essentially stand in the center and somewhere down below it, not in the farm itself, and collect the drops in your inventory and then put them in the chest. And then the redstone update came out, which I want to say 1.5, don't quote me on that, I want to say it's 1.5, and that added hoppers, which revolutionized the game in and amongst itself, because now we could automate these farms to automatically collect the items and deposit them in chests with sorters and clocks and everything. It was a really good update, and could it get any better? Yes, it can with the crafter. So behind me is the melon farm. I don't want melon slices, I have golden carrots. I want melon blocks to trade with the villagers to use for decoration. Crafting them is a pain. We recently installed bulk shulker box loaders, but still, I gotta craft them. Same goes for the iron farm, which is off in the distance. It doesn't work, but I still have double chest upon double chest of iron ingots. Now those are more useful in a way than melon slices. I can use iron ingots for other stuff. Melon slices are just useless besides glistening melons. But the gold farm, the dried kelp, the witch farm with redstone blocks, the wheat farm that I have, where is it? It's right actually there, that you can't see the wheat farm. To turn it in the hay bales, to condense everything. One of the ones that I am most excited for is actually the dried kelp, because there's a system that I think I can do to essentially eliminate me ever having to deposit fuel in that farm ever again, because I use the dried kelp to smelt the dried kelp blocks to smelt dried kelp. It's a really confusing process, but it works, because the dried kelp block smelts more than it takes or something. I don't know. I should never have to deposit fuel in that farm again. And the other one I'm excited for is the honey farm. You have to craft honey blocks with honey bottles. Then you get the bottles back, and that farm is actually very dependent on the bottles always being filled up in the dispensers, or it will break and the bottles will go in the dispensers or something, if my memory serves correct. So I can eliminate that entire process and just auto craft the honey bottles and the honey blocks, and then feed the bottles back into the farm. This crafter is going to be amazing, and we're going to revolutionize our world here today. So let's get started. Correction, I am using the dried kelp to smelt kelp, not dried kelp, too many dried kelps in there, but yeah. I think we start with that one, and essentially all of these projects are going to be the same. It's going to be the same crafting system circuit thing that I will build once, and then you will see it, and then it will essentially be the same across all of these, because all of them require the 9x9 grid, or yeah, the 9x9 grid, 9 slots, 3x3 grid that are used to craft stuff. The gold blocks, the iron blocks, the dried kelp blocks, the melon blocks, the hay bales, everything is a full 3x3. Makes it real simple, so let's get crafting. Okay, so the kelp farm is going to be a little different. I found a design by Exuma that is tileable and uses smokers and just automatically feeds it back right into the furnace. It's tileable, I said that. And I'm gonna go with that design just because it's a lot simpler. Everything will work fine. I was literally gonna keep this same design with the minecart and then just have a hopper chain feeding into the furnaces and fill it up with dried kelp. I would have enough, but this system is gonna be easier, and I won't have to worry about minecarts at all. I'll have pots, but I won't have any minecarts. So one thing I want to do before destroying the furnaces is see how much XP I get, because these have been just smelting kelp for who knows how long. Oh my. Oh my. Jeez, okay. I'm gonna look back at the clip to see exactly how much XP I had, but 107. I was in the 70s, right? Dang. Alright. Probably should have helped the shot. I should have repaired something, not just collected it. But oh well. Now it's time to start building the tileable kelp smelter 3000 something. Yeah, that's the name we're going. And you like another endermite? He's staying down here. He's been down here since I built this farm originally, right? He's not leaving. I got the module set up, and I'm gonna try to explain what's going on here. Uses pots, conveniently. So, really only the first couple are gonna be used. Instead of waiting for a full minecart to be loaded, now the kelp just runs directly in, and it just slowly fills in the crafters, and then once they get filled, they will craft a dried kelp block, and then after which it will go up through these droppers and into here. Then it will go into this hopper, and it is over this hopper, which has a filter and dried kelp, which leads right into the back of the smoker. So if it needs a dried kelp block, it'll fill that. If it's full, it'll shoot it right on through to the bulvator, which will then lead us back into our storage room, which we should have some kelp blocks up here already. Look at that, 4 already. This is gonna be great. Amazing. Auto crafting. This is amazing. Alright, so next thing we gotta do now is we don't just want to put these in chests. No. We ain't gonna do that. I don't need those. You wanna know why? You wanna know why? I have all those. I got plenty. We'll have plenty. We're hooking up a shulker box loader right here in this room. I might have to readjust the room a little bit, but I do want to keep the diagonal staircase. I do very much like it, and I like the look of this place, so I don't want to get rid of it. So we're going to work with it and work around it, not against it. So with that, the dried kelp farm, or the kelp farm, whichever you want to call it, should be fully automatic. I should never have to touch it again, which is music to my ears, because I always hated crafting up the dried kelp blocks for the fuel. We got our shulker box loader, said that right, that we use for our bulk storage design. Full shulker boxes will be here. Fortunately, we can't open it. That's the only downside about it, but it is one wide tileable, even though I have the chest. I don't need it to be one wide, but that's just the system I'm using because I know it works. You put the empty ones in here, they go through there, yada yada. This is the input line with all the dried kelp. I've been putting some in here just to make sure that it works. I haven't really tested it yet, because I built that off of memory in a backwards picture. So over here we have a little crafter station that gives us a shulker box. So if we need to fill up the bulk storage thingamabob or shulker box loader, we have a auto crafter to make shulker boxes if we need them. 62, so we should have more than enough. Kept the redstone lamps in the sign as a little nod to the original design, and overall I like how this looks. I like the exposed redstone. I did that on purpose. I could have hit it, I could have, but exposed redstone is cool in some places, and I think this is definitely one of those cases. So on to the next, shall we? Alright, so first one is in at the slime farm, which probably has never been shown. Maybe in the world tour I showed the actual farm itself. I believe it's the same design I used in the original world, but you know, just obviously in a different location. I would assume it is, because I used the same designs, but I figured it was easier to install the auto crafters at the actual farm than it would be to install them on the main line to the bulk storage, because then I'd have to install item filters and everything, and it would get really complicated. Versus here, this is, oh hey, how'd No, stop. Go after the iron golem, not me. But now the slime balls go right into the crafter, and it spits it out right into the bubble stream. Which, conveniently enough, this was also still using the old just drop things into solid blocks elevator design, which I want to say was in 1.11, 1.12. How are you? Obviously, the bubble column's got it in 1.13, so I have to renovate that. I believe the witch farm still uses that too, so we could speed up drops by making a bubble vader instead of the old dropper through solid blocks one. But yeah, they're not exactly going very far because, well, I gotta take this kelp and I gotta make it a bubble vader. So got the second crafter up and running at the melon farm, which I hope is the melon farm because the melon and pumpkins are right next to each other. And there's no way to tell which tower it is. Pretty sure it was the left one, if memory serves correct. But the pumpkins we can't craft into anything. They can just get, you know, composted for bone meal. But I kind of want to have a way to still get melon blocks because they are really good for villager trading. One melon block for 1 emerald is really good. So I mean, I have like, you know, a couple shulker boxes. They're going to last me a long time. But melon blocks I do use on decoration occasionally. So I would still like to get them. But I don't want to run them right into the composter then. Because then I wouldn't get the melon blocks. So I had to kind of put this in somewhere. I think this should, in theory, just fill this up and then spit it right into the hopper. I'm taking a guess on that one. And then it should feed right down into this dropper and take it down to the water stream. I guess we'll find out. But yeah, it's really easy to get lost in all these wires. There's so many random tunnels just leading here, there, and everywhere. And you get into the ice streams and you're like, where am I? But hey, this is why I added the easy access points to these locations. So I could easily, you know, get to and from in case I needed to do anything just like this. You know, it's been ages since I've actually had to, like, traverse the ice streams. I want to say that I keep finding holes and then, boom, there's another branch. I have no idea where any of this stuff is. Probably would help if I, you know, wrote down the coordinates of the wheat farm. I'm going to wing it. These are the melon and pumpkins. Just at the bottom of them now. So this isn't the wheat farm. That's the melon. So the wheat farm, can I get down here? I don't know why I keep jumping up with that. So the wheat farm's gotta be, there we go. Down here somewhere. I don't know. Is it this? It's gotta be this one. I thought this was maybe the old sugarcane farm, but that's gotta be the wheat farm. I hope it is. I don't know what else it could be. Well, this isn't a wheat farm. This is the old sugarcane farm. Where is the wheat farm? Okay. I just went through the wheat farm. When I say went through, I mean literally, you know, right here. Probably should have just done that from the beginning. But, you know, now we're here. And now we gotta figure out, where do you actually come out? And what's it? Oh, that's this determine the minecart. Oh, yep. Beautiful. I don't know. I'm gonna mess around with this. So there's been a change of plan because I remember the wheat farm also produces seeds. And I think maybe bone meal, because I think maybe the farmer can put the crops in the composter and the bone meal would pop out, he can't pick it up, and then the minecart picks it up. So, I mean, that's going into the system regardless, but, you know, that's 3 things, so we can't exactly have the autocrafter there with no filter, so we put it on the main line, like I was gonna do for the other ones. Maybe I should have just done it for all of them, but, you know, it does get a little messy, so we have everything coming in from this way, which we're still getting melons. I haven't turned that off yet. I was hoping to get some wheat, but we are using the same system pretty much as the kelp farm, running it right into an ender chest. We've got a filter for wheat, we've got a filter for redstone for the witch farm, because we're going to have the same problem there. Might as well just put it here. And then something I wasn't actually, that's a problem. See, no, that right there is a problem that I have to fix, and this is why I was like, cooked chicken. Where did a cooked chicken come from? This is is where I gotta test things. I have to make that going all the way down now, because it's gonna be right on that edge. Yay. I'll fix that. But we have one for seeds. They get sorted out, and then this jumbled mess down here, which is very difficult to move around in, crafts the redstone, crafts the wheat in the hay bales, and then the seeds get composted into bone meal because I wasn't doing anything with them to begin with. They were kind of just getting thrown out, so now I gotta fix this. It's a good thing I caught that on camera, because it would have just been sitting there and, you know, losing all these items, including the redstone, which I need. Okay, problem is solved. We just ran the water over the hoppers, because I was assuming that the items will get stuck in the hoppers, but I guess they're floating on the water technically, but if it goes over the hopper, you know, such as the redstone, which that's not the redstone one, that one is, but the wheat is now getting collected in there, so that's good. To simulate it, we can actually just chuck a bunch of redstone in here, and you can see that it gets picked up by the hopper, and then eventually we'll see a redstone block pop up. There it is, and that goes right on down to the storage room. Ooh, it took a couple tries, but it works. It works. So that, I think, concludes all of the bulk storage and the ones around the main base. Now we gotta go do the gold farm, the iron farm, honey farm, which all of those are going to be a little bit more difficult and not as simple. I say that as this one wasn't as simple as I thought it was going to be. So, back at the honey farm. One of my favorite projects, in a way. I don't know, when they came out and it was all the update was in 1.15 was, you know, those guys, honey blocks and the honeycomb. It was cool. It was nice, and they've since then added a lot of functionality to the honeycomb itself to wax copper and to make candles. So the farm is still very much useful. But these are the honeycomb guys. The ones on the bottom are actually the honey bottle guys. And these guys are still, I don't know what's wrong with these beehives and why they're not, you know, taking the honey out of them. I gotta look into that. Maybe it's broken, like the farm said it could if it ran out of bottles, because it did. But I had to run a whole bunch of new redstone line and hoppers, and here's the crafter that's crafting the honey bottles, and thankfully it pushes the honey block and the bottles out, not just, you know, leaving the bottles in there, because that would suck. So we're able to run everything through. I have a item filter here with glass bottles that then goes through another hopper line with a little bit of water, which I can barely show you, and then down there's a soul sand elevator, which then takes it, it's a jumbled mess over here, takes it up here, which then takes it all the way over to where the bottles originally were stashed, and I can't open this, but we have the bottles completely filled all the way on both sides, so we should have no problems with bottles. I should never have to worry about anything with this farm ever again. Alright, it's music to my ears, because I mean they are easy to craft, but then like putting the bottles back in wasn't the easiest. We already got some honey blocks. Now what I'm really debating now is putting a shulker box loader here. The honeycomb's definitely needed. The honey blocks, I think I can get away with the chest still. I don't really use honey blocks all too often, either the honeycomb, but yeah, I already have. I had to craft some honeycomb blocks, and I don't believe I can uncraft these, so I can't even condense the honeycombs. I would like to keep these for candles and for waxing copper. So I think I'm going to put some shulker box loaders here. Alright, so it may not look as good as it used to, but we shouldn't have to worry about storage that much anymore. You can easily see the shulker boxes. You can, you know, not check them because you can't open them with the hopper above them for some reason. I really want that changed. But we can access the map chest to install some shulker boxes, and then we can access the barrels in the front, which I figured we didn't need a double chest like we have done before. A barrel should suffice, so that should be the honey farm done and dusted. Let's go get on to the iron farm. That one's going to be a little bit more temporary, because that's not going to be the location of our new iron farm whenever I get around to making it, because I still have, like, you'll see, a lot of iron. So when I say I had iron, from of double chests of iron, so since this is iron blocks, it's extremely useful. It was like that here. Let's see. Comparative. But this one's going to be slightly more difficult. One, it's going to be temporary, so I don't got to worry about like positioning it well. We just got to make it work. Two, these won't feed into each other. I think what I'm going to do is put a hopper underneath this row of chests. Once this row of chests is done, break the first one or second one, and install another hopper feeding downwards, and essentially just go up until I finish it. It's going to be a very manual process, but like I said, very temporary. So this might take a while. I went ahead and I hooked up the auto crafters already and built the shulker box loaders, and I have them running. So all I literally have to do is then come over here, and then come over here, and then that should start feeding the iron blocks right into the shulker box loader. This one's a little farther away, but that's fine. Yeah, it's gonna take a while. If my math was correct, which to be honest probably isn't, I might get 10 shulker boxes of iron blocks, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it is a lot when you think about it. But a iron farmer is definitely something I want to do in the future. They got like incredibly more not complicated, simple. You just gotta like have a zombie scare a villager and it spawns an iron golem, versus this one is, you know, the immense amount of doors. And hey, what are you doing? How? Huh? Who? Where? How? Alright, well, I've never seen this guy. He should not have been able to spawn, keep in mind, anywhere up here, hence the, these things. So I have no idea where he came from, but he's gonna stay here, just like this build. And we still do have some villagers. I think I took all the ones out the back here, but there's no beds, so, like, oh no, there's a, okay, that is, I'm honestly surprised that's not, like, entity crammed right now. That is a sight. We might need to get rid, oh hi, we might need to get rid of those guys. Just lava. Just to reduce the amount of entities over here. Because once I get rid of all the iron, I am breaking these double chests and kind of just maybe filling it in, make a little tiny mural or something. But this Iron Phoenix is the one it's called. It's made by Tango Tech. No longer works, sadly. Will remain here as a monument to time, I guess, because it was built in 1.12. So it's quite an old farm. I was correct on the assumption that this would take a while. I mean, good news is I'm pretty sure the hoppers in the back are getting cleaned out too. Wasn't part of the plan, but hey, that works. These two were empty, but that's full. That's full. That's full. That's full. Now it's full. That's empty. That's still got stuff. And we got another. That's one. That's two, three, four. Another 4 layers after that. It's gonna take some time. The thing that sucks too is it's like manual. I can't even like sit here and leave my computer. I kind of gotta like watch it to wait until that chest empty out. But we're gonna continue with the rest of the auto crafters and just let this do its thing. I might honestly just leave it here and come back occasionally and check up on it, because it's gonna take a while. Okay, so we got the next auto crafter. This one I kind of just added at the end here, because I completely realized I can automate crafting firework rockets. Everybody goes through these things, and everybody hates crafting them, because you need the sugarcane, craft it in the paper, and then 2 stacks, or 3 stacks, or 1 stack of gunpowder for your flight duration, and yeah, it gets tiresome, especially when you want to craft a shulker box full. So how about a system that crafts them for you, so all you gotta do is just, you know, plop it in and let it do its thing. So if we just grab some extra sugarcane, some extra gunpowder, we should start to see that this is just gonna start crafting flight duration 2 rockets. I mean, this auto crafter, I tell you, is going to change the way that this game is played. Okay? as I said in the beginning of this episode, this is just going to start crafting rockets, and then when I need them, I can just pinch them out of this chest, and it will just start crafting them even more. Now, what I'm worried about is what if it can't put an item in? I think it will just stay here if the chest is full. I think. I don't know. I gotta test that out. But anyway, this is made by a person called Rex Stone on YouTube. Not my design. I'm not this, smart when it comes to redstone. And this is a fairly simple circuit to make, just to automate rockets, which I guarantee like 99% of the Minecraft player base uses on a daily basis. So it does have a stopping feature, so when these hoppers run out of their resources, it will actually stop crafting rockets, so it won't craft things that you don't want. I mean, we already have a good amount of rockets, but next one we're going to be doing is for these things right here. My other main thing I use on a daily basis, the golden carrots. We gotta do the gold farm yet, but we're making an auto crafter for these golden carrots, so I don't have to craft them. So we got the auto crafter for the golden carrots up and running. I'll take those, thank you very much. Fresh off the assembly line. This design is by Exuma. It is a universal crafting module, UCM. I think that's the acronym he used, don't quote me on it though. But you can like pretty much set this up for anything. So we have 3 input chests which can be hooked up to farms, and now I need to figure out a way to convert gold blocks to ingots to nuggets, so that way I can just deposit the gold blocks, because we're making one of these at the gold farm and I don't really want to have to uncraft them and throw them into the box. If I can have the machine do it for me, that's the plan. So I gotta figure out if that's possible. It should be. I just gotta figure out how to do it. But we'll run out of gold nuggets along with carrots. But this design also has failsafe too, so once these hoppers don't have anything in them, the system will shut off and stop the crafting. So it's amazing. That's all I gotta say, is that these things can just go till they run out of one resource. Like any one of these chests runs out of something, it will stop. Perfect. Same with the firework factory over here. Love this stuff. This is going to make the life so much easier. And now, see, this one ran out of gunpowder. So there's missing one, and this is all the rockets that we have. I'll take those. Thank you. So, yeah. I got to figure that out. And we got to make these things look a little bit nicer. We're not going to just leave exposed redstone. Alright, we're making some nice, pretty structures around these. Okay, so in theory, I just replicated the same circuit we've been using, which, if you haven't seen it, that's it. And then the crafter's here, and you gotta make sure all slots are selected, and then I believe all I should have to do is do that, and that should give me my nuggets. Then that doesn't activate for some reason, because it puts 9 in there. Haha, see? Troubleshooting on the fly. I have no idea. This doesn't want to activate again either. So this is the design I've been using for the 3x3 stuff, so it should work fine for that. But the 1 stuff is going to cause a little bit of an issue. Alright, back to the drawing board, I guess. Thought it was going to be easy. Nope, it's going to be complicated. So there's been a change of plan. As you can see, both modules are gone. The golden carrot one actually doesn't work. Doesn't stop crafting. Or I should say, it doesn't hold the items, so once one thing runs out, the other hopper just kind of fills in those slots, and that breaks the system. So, it didn't work for my needs. So, where'd they go? Well, I moved them down here in the underneath. I didn't feel like making a structure around them, because there wasn't a lot of room, and it just makes more sense for them to be right next to where my storage room is. So we have a lot of rockets. Unfortunately, the only problem with this is once the chest is full, the auto crafter continues crafting, and it just spits the items out. So we gotta watch how much stuff we put in, or lock something somewhere. But we have a whole double chest of flight duration 2 rockets, and then over here we have a very similar system. It's literally the exact same, except it's a longer hopper clock, so it allows the golden nuggets to feed in quicker, or just at the right amount, so the carrots don't just, run out of golden nuggets and then it breaks this slow. So it's not horribly fast, but it works. And it will be here. Plus I can throw in golden ingots instead of blocks. I mean, it's not ideal, but it works. I could find next to nothing in terms of a golden carrot autocrafter online, and the ones I did find so they didn't work. So I improvised. But I enchanted the mace, and I have the 3D resource pack from Vanilla Tweaks. I need Windburst 3 yet, but besides that, it's the best one I can get. They say density's better than Breach, and I got the overkill. I went to 2 trial chambers, and yeah, I got a heavy core. I went to 8, didn't get a single one. Went to 2, I got 1. It's alright, yeah. So now we have the mace. But this, I just jumped off of the pillager outpost and killed the pillager. A little sketchy. Gets me down the 2 hearts. Good to know. Let's go to the nether, and let's get more gold for our golden carrots. Even though now I'm waiting for carrots, but I have those. I can put them in. I need more gold. You always need more gold. So it looks like we do have a good amount of room. I was worried. It's been a while since I used the gold farm, to be honest. I kind of forgot what system I had in place here, but we've got plenty of space that we can implement 2 of our modules, which I think is all we should have to do. Because we need 1 to convert nuggets into ingots, and then we can feed that into the ingots into blocks, and then we can feed that into a shulker box loader. And honestly, I'm just gonna keep it with the rock flesh. I ain't even gonna keep this. Alright, that's why I got the flint and steel on my hotbar, because besides trading, what are you gonna do with it? And even then, it's maybe 26, 27, and it's really not worth it at that point to just keep it, so we'll just burn them all. Getting rid of the rotten flesh. So I don't believe I've actually built one of these shulker box loaders on camera. It's the same design we've used in the storage room. What? Something like that. Yada yada. In front of that, we need a barrel and a hopper and a comparator. And then in front of said comparator, we need a block, which, that's off-centered too. I'm noticing so many things are off-centered. See? Look at that. It should continue over there. I'm gonna have to fix that, but time being, we're just going to use a piece of spruce to put on top of you to give me the redstone block to put boom boom, and then we need the observer right here. We need a hopper to go right there. As I break this again, and I still miss my jump boost. I'm just going to place another. That is a dispenser. Okay, good. And then we should just have to place that, and that should be it. That's the shulker box loader. So that's the input line. This is where you put the empty shulker boxes, and this is where you get the full ones. So since we're only going to have gold blocks, I think that should be fine. I might come back and change that to block stone, but now we got to make the actual auto-crafting modules, and we should have plenty of space, and I got to figure out where the item filters are and get rid of the rotten flesh. Now I should also mention there is a slight problem in the vaults. We're going to come back and put some stuff here, because I think they can spawn on them. Can they spawn on observers? It's a redstone block, but it's a full block. I don't know. You would think when the shulker is full, this comparator reads it, sends a signal, yada yada, that this piston pushes the observer and breaks it, that it would get picked up by the hopper immediately. Well, occasionally it doesn't, and it flies out to the side. I've lost a couple shulker boxes already, so I kind of have to encase this. It is a one-wide tileable design, so if we have something next to it, then we'll just go in the next one, so it's not the worst case scenario, but it's not ideal. So I might start switching to a more like 2-wide or something that's more reliable, just so I don't have that problem in cases like this. I'm just going to use it. Should be fine as long as I enclose it. Should be fine. I haven't done extensive testing. I'm trying to. solve the issue, but you know, I'll have to get back to you on that one. And with these last couple blocks, this should be it. Still nothing spawn on these, so we're going to go ahead and place a stair and a stair, and that should be it. Now the only thing is we have to activate the system once, or place a shulker box in there. Grab one from here that place you not there. Place you right here. There's no box there yet, but we place that in there, and that should do it. So I'm gonna AFK for a bit, see what happens. I tell you, this never gets old, just watching an endless fountain of zombie piglins. I keep wanting to call them pigmen, but they're piglins now, just falling to their death indefinitely. Such a simple concept, yet it works so well. And it's just so satisfying to just watch them fall. I may or may not have a problem. So it do be working. We got 6 gold blocks now. Keep in mind these are coming from nuggets to ingots to blocks, so obviously it's gonna take a while. So that's a good amount of nuggets. I only stood there for a couple minutes, so I'm just gonna pop those back in there, and ta-da! That'll do it. Eventually, at some point, I gotta make this nether ceiling or nether roof. I guess technically the roof, huh? The ceiling's on the inside. This is the roof, even though it's a flat layer of bedrock. I'm gonna make it look a little bit nicer. Maybe I'll do that in a coming episode. Who knows? But that is all the auto crafting that I have planned for today. Since the Exuma one kind of failed, I don't want to implement that exactly over at the Guardian farm. I have to figure out what to do there. Plus, it was, you know, you want prismarine bricks, sea lanterns, and dark prismarine, so it's not like I can like split them up 4 ways. It's a little bit more complicated. I might make auto crafters that I just put the stuff in, but I also gotta like figure out the space because I don't have much to work with over there. But I'll probably end up doing that in between episodes. You guys have seen enough of auto crafting for today, and probably so have I. So, without further ado, guys, I think that's where I'm going to call it quits for today. We got another farm next episode, more redstone, because I need a certain material for the episode after, and I don't feel like harvesting it, so we're going to make a farm. Or it, to make my life significantly easier. I'm surprised it took this long to make this farm, too, alright? But I'm going to leave it at that. You'll find out next episode. So if you haven't done so already, make sure to leave a like. Let me know which auto crafter thing you think is going to be the most helpful, or if you have any others that you think would be like super useful to install in the world. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe. I'm begging you. No, I'm just kidding. You don't have to subscribe, but it would be nice if you do. But anyways, guys, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Farewell.